where you learn the secrets of how to become beautiful, both in mind and body, and balance. We also will once in a while talk about fashion, so you can look for image consulting and other types of things that will be coming on in future shows. Today we are joined by Dr. Lee, who is the main host of the show.
Thank you, Kurt.
You're very welcome, and we appreciate the physician background that she brings in both Western and Eastern medicine. And then Dr. Robledo, who is one of the owners of the not only med spa but cosmetic surgery, Arizona Laser and Skin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you again for having me.
You're very welcome. If anybody wants to go look at the website, it's azmdlaser.com. And also, one of the promotions they've allowed on the show is a free consultation. So if somebody is either watching this on YouTube or is listening to the show, what number would they call?
It would be 480-598-9733. And we're located in our Tukey area at I-10 and Chandler Boulevard.
Okay, so very central to the Phoenix area. So last break we were talking about some of the ways that you are able to reduce or reverse some of the aging effects by the stimulation of collagen. And I promised you that I would share a quote that is from someone that is important to me. It was actually on Facebook. Now, before I actually met Drs. Lee and Robledo, what I believed is just look your age and look the best that you can at that age. So if you're 50 and your collagen is depleted, just be fit and do the best that you can. Okay. So until I went through the experience that I went through, I've actually known both Miss Native American USA as well as the creator of Miss Native American USA. And she hopped on Facebook and was legitimately surprised. She said, "There is no way you're old enough to have a son in high school." And so, for those of you who've known me and gotten used to how I used to look versus now, and of course she was blowing a certain amount of smoke, but I think she really was legitimately surprised after knowing me these years. She hadn't met my son, who is just going into high school. So the point is that I don't blame that on, even though I've done the very best I can to live a very healthy life, I blame that on, in the last year, I've met a lot of people who actually think I'm a lot younger than I am. So I no longer subscribe to just look the best you can at the age you are. I think you actually can look younger than your age.
And if you're only doing, what you've been doing, like eating well and staying fit, you might be behind, because everyone else, not everyone else, but a lot of people are doing these high-tech aesthetic things to look better.
Absolutely.
It's available, it's out there.
Yeah.
People want to look beautiful.
Why not use them?
Right.
And so it really has been amazing. That's pretty much the extent of the things that I've done with Arizona Laser and Skin, but they've been a wonderful experience. And again, it's because I was under the diagnosis of a couple of physicians who not only do they care about me as a person, they care about their artwork, so to speak. And so they've done a phenomenal job in identifying what I need. And I actually had several things I wanted done that they said, no, you don't need that. There's other things that you can do instead, and lo and behold, they were right. So I appreciate that. They won't always just take your check. They will do what's best for you. So there's definitely a lot of other ways to reverse those aging effects. Dr. Robledo, what are some others?
Sure. To kind of, I mentioned before that the three things that are very typical of aging is thinning of the skin, pigmentation problems, lines, wrinkles, and the second thing was loss of volume. Mm-hmm. The third thing was sagging. One of the treatments that's good for lines and wrinkles, the thinning of the skin, and to help improve that, and at the same time to replace volume, would be using Botox and fillers. Mm-hmm. Botox and fillers they've been used for many years. They're very common and they're very well known, and there's different types. But Botox is a good product to use to help relax somewhat the action of the muscles. If you have strong muscles, especially with thin skin, you're going to have lines and wrinkles. So we use the Botox to smooth them out a little bit. We don't want to overuse it and give you that frozen look. Mm-hmm. We just want to use enough to give you that natural look.
And there's risk. That's why you don't want to overuse it.
That's correct. There's risk with anything, actually. But it is a very common agent that's used frequently for treatment of lines and wrinkles. We like to use fillers for long-term effects in replacing volume, and also more superficial on the skin to help treat some of the little fine lines and wrinkles that don't respond to Botox. Fillers are very safe. They've also been used for many years, and we use them to build up the cheek areas, the tear trough areas, to apply it on the nasolabial folds, so you don't have that deep fold and line look that is what makes us look a little aged, you know, that sunken look.
What about fat? Can you use that?
That is the other thing. Fat, we can use fat transfer, especially if someone is interested in having liposuction and coincidentally they happen to have loss of volume on the face, and that is not unusual because we can put on weight in other parts of the body, but we can still lose volume in our face. And so many times we harvest fat during a liposuction or just intentionally to replace the loss of volume in the face. We can use this fat to not only build up the face area and make it look younger, etc. We can use it in your hands, you know, as